Citizens are today being urged to exercise extreme caution when purchasing food from Chinese restaurants. A recent video posted to social media of what appears to be a Chinese national skinning a dog near a food establishment in Diego Martin has caused public concern. Today, Health Minister Dr. Fuad Khan said he was horrified by the video but not surprised.
I realized that the amount of stray dogs in this country have disappeared, and also you don't see them in a pound, so they have to be going somewhere. So I have been very particular because I know in China, rats are eaten, dogs are eaten, and so do cats and other things, and the Chinese government is coming down on quite a few of those people, other people doing it.
Dr. Khan says it seems migrant Chinese nationals have brought some of their culture to this country, but there is little that can be done to stop it. He says the present Food and Drug Act addresses the importation of food items, but it does not cover issues like this.
When you mix meat with MSG, vetsinate, and you soften the meat, the taste will change as well as the actual meat consistency, and it will look like beef or pork or something. So one has to be extremely astute for what they're eating, and they won't be able to tell half the time.
So these are the kind of things that does upset me, you know. People, I want all to help me to understand something. Alright? I just went by extra foods, where I purchased these two products. Okay, I purchased this one and this new product here. I say, well, I'm gonna try this new product. Lo and behold, well, let's see what's going on here. Alright, this is the guava that I strained in here. All you might be asking all yourself, why? Well, lo and behold, while drinking this product, I feel something on my lip, like something slap against my lip and stick a kind of way. So I lick my lip and I feel it on my tongue. And when I checked to see what it was, I saw this. Now, people, tell me what this look like. I want to get close. Tell me what all you think this look like. This is a parasite. This is some type of parasite. If you only see it, I try to shine it through the light. If you only see what I saw, you see like the line. Like you see it like a transparent, like the line going down the middle of the body. This is a whole parasite. Watch it. A whole parasite in this drink that I almost swallow. Now, well, you could imagine if I had swallowed this, what would that be the situation? Look at that, look how it's shining. And it's conforming and it's shrinking up on itself and thing. This is disgusting. This is utterly disgusting. Look at that, like an intestine inside of the damn thing. It himself is not a parasite. Okay, what the hell is this? This is normal. Yo, listen, Solo, I can't blame extra foods because it comes as a sealed product. But Solo, all they need to do better than that. This is people health all they're dealing with. This is something that people consume in the body. And when you find these type of foreign looking, alien looking things in the drink, what do you expect? Look at this. Look how disgusting that looking.
Alright, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Start with the 144,000. You know, this is Brother Yerushalayim coming back at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. The name of this one is, these heathens are nasty. Hashtag unclean eating habits, lack of knowledge. And we see recently here, the elder apostles, which are our spiritual fathers, they be pushing out a lot of videos on health, especially in this time, of prophecy, when all these different pestilence and plagues, are on the schedule to come very shortly. Right? You hear them speaking about this new lock to the downs that they say they bring in maybe next month. All right. And even now more than ever, it's important to how we eat. It's important to get the parasites out of your system, detox the system, all these things like that. And a big part of it, is what you eat. Jake eats horribly. All right. In the first video, you saw the Moabites, Chinese, cutting up a dog. All right. And it's not the first time. But a few years ago, back in I believe around 2009, in Trinidad here, across the east-west corridor, they shut down a lot of Chinese restaurants for that, for finding dog bones or dog remains in the kitchen. All right, so they be feeding Jake abominable meat. All right, and Jake really and truly been eating abominable meat in the first place. There's no difference between a dog and a pig. Both are unclean. All right, but it's just the fact, that these heathens, this is what they be doing. All right, this is what they be doing to deceive Jake. All right, because really and truly, Jake go to these people for one, these heathens, which are our enemies, by the way, the Moabites, which are the Chinese. That's the ancient biblical name, the true name, the nation. All right, and let me see if I can get this here. In want of all things. So this is curses that Jake be under. All right. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. It reads, therefore shall thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst. Right. So in hunger, Jake be eating dog. All right. Unbeknownst to them. All right, a lot of the time. And also, been drinking these unclean things from these the different soft drink companies, which again are owned by who? Heathens. All right, full of sugar, all these different soft drinks. All right, full of sugar, full of colorants, things that damage your health. All right, so that's really what that's Jake's position. It'll be basically being killed slowly. This is why we have to change our eating habits as best as we could. It's true that we under the curses. It's true that the scriptures say we eat our bread defiled among the heathen. All right, but at the end of the day, you can still make wiser choices. All right, and there's still things you can do to clean your blood, to clean your arteries, all these things like that. To make sure we survive what's the upcoming, the things that the Lord has on the schedule, the timetable to come in prophecy. All right, so Deuteronomy 20 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness. Even the clothes be messing us up. All right, anything that's not 100% cotton and 100% linen, basically be reducing our vibration. Pretty much the clothes that we wearing, giving us a vibration of a dead person. All right, and in want of all things. Right, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So economically wise, health wise, they be destroying us. All right, and these people are our enemies. How are we gonna know? How we could see that? Let's go back. Let's go to Deuteronomy 23. I believe it's 23, and verse 3. It says, an Ammonite or a Moabite, to the Chinese, Japanese and Chinese, shall not enter into congregation of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, even to their 10th generation, right, forever. Shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever, because they met you not with bread and with water in the way. So when we were leaving Egypt and we were passing through, they didn't meet us with bread and water. All right. So I mean, how could you trust these people really? And truly, you shouldn't really be eating from these devils, right? These heathens, right? Unless you really know for sure that their food is not tainted. Because if they met us back then without bread, who knows what kind of thing they're putting in the bread and the food that they're giving us now. All right, their hatred for us hasn't ceased. Okay? You know, King David conquered these peoples. And a lot of them, they know that we are the enemies. They know, some of them high level ones, they know who we are. Alright? But Jake don't know who they are. Jake destroyed for that lack of knowledge, Hosea 4 and 6. Alright, so let me continue here. Deuteronomy 23 and verse 4. It says, because they met you not with bread and with water in the way, when you came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against the Balaam, the son of Beor of Pethor of Mesopotamia, to curse thee. This is what the king of Moab did. Alright? Balak, I believe was his name. You know, this is what he did. You know? But the Lord changed. The Lord turned around the curse into a blessing. So these people hate us. And they are our enemies. This is Psalm chapter 83. And I'll start at verse 2. It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden one. And all that, the food, the bad food, the poisonous food, and all that is a part of it. It's a part of the crafty counsel, the schemes to destroy us, to separate us from our power. Okay, because they know that when we sin, when we break the laws, which is sin is transgression of the laws, 1 John 3 and 4, they know that we'll be destroyed. Alright? Verse 4 says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. Yeah, let's see who's confederate against us. Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom, right, the so-called white man, and the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, the Ishmaelites, right, and of Moab, which is who? China, and the Hagarenes. So they are our enemies. Alright? Which is why they put things like MS3 monosodium glutamate in the food. They have nasty cooking practices. They don't change the oil. And the oil they use anyway is not good for us anyhow. The vegetable oil be clogging up the arteries. Alright? This is what it is. You know? This is what it is. You know, and then you have these foolish Christians who be talking shit, you know, and telling Jake to go on and eat unclean things. They're using scriptures like this. Book of Mark chapter 7 and verse 15, it says, there's nothing from without a man that entered into him can defile him, but the things which come out of him, those are they that defile the man. If any man have an ears, let them hear. So they break this down as if it's speaking about food, and this wasn't speaking about food. It's speaking about doctrine. All right. You know, let me read verse 18. It says, and he said unto them, this is Yahushua speaking, it says, are ye so without understanding also? Do you not perceive that whatsoever thing from without entered into a man, it cannot defile him? The Lord wasn't speaking about food. Alright? Because it entered not into his heart, his mind, but into his belly, and goeth out into the trough, purging all meats. Right? The Lord spoke in parables and metaphors and allegories. Right? But these jakes, they be on a low level, right? Not understanding what the Lord was speaking about here. All right? They don't understand that. You know? They're weak. Let me jump down here. It says, where did I reach here? Verse 20. Mark 7 and 20. And he said, that which cometh out of the man, that defileth the man, right? For from within, out of the heart, which is the mind of a man, so this is what the Lord was speaking about, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, and foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man. So he wasn't talking about defiling by food, but for those 2/3, the Lord blind the eye and they think it's food. Alright? Same thing goes for Acts the 10th chapter. When you go to Acts the 10th chapter, alright, and they saw, when Peter saw the basically tablecloth coming down from heaven. Alright, he said Acts 10 and 11 and saw, okay, verse 10, Acts 10 and 10. And he became very hungry, right, Peter, the apostle, and would have eaten. But while they made ready, he fell into a trance, right? and saw heaven open and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet knit, all right, at the four corners, and let it down to the earth, wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air, right? And there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter said, Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean, right? But this wasn't speaking about literal unclean food, like in Leviticus 11 chapter or Deuteronomy 14 chapter, which the Lord told us not to eat, all right? Because unlike these foolish Christians, we understand the scripture. We know that the scripture said the Lord doesn't change. All right, the Lord doesn't change. Let's get that. Let's get I believe it's the book of Malachi. It's in Malachi 3. And let's see if I get this. Verse 6, it says, For I am Yahweh, I change not. So the Lord says he doesn't change. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. All right? The Lord doesn't change. His Lord doesn't change. His people doesn't change. Doesn't change. All right? Let's get Hebrews, book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 8. It reads, Yahweh Shai, the same yesterday and today and forever. And guess what? Yahweh Shai has the same mind as the Father. So he doesn't change either. All right? So the Lord ain't going to change from telling Jake not to eat these unclean animals, all right, and then tell you, okay, it's okay to go and clean it, and eat it. That's what they call confusion, all right. And the scripture said the Lord is not an author of confusion. 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 40. What does it say? It says, let all things be done decently and in order, right? When you go up to verse, I believe it's verse 33, it says, for the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints. So the Lord doesn't go back on his word. All right? You know, the Lord doesn't go back on his word, unlike man. All right? So that's bullshit. You know, what these pastors be teaching. All right? Well, let me go back to Acts, the book of Acts 10, and I believe it's around 11 verse we stop there. Salakia. Yeah. Okay. Right. No, we reached verse 14. So Peter said, but Peter said, Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. And the voice spake unto him again the second time, What the Most High have cleansed, that call not thou common. So the Lord was speaking about men and not really food. Right? It was men who were worshiping all these false idols. Israelite foreigners who were scattered among the heathen. Right? Verse 16 says, This was done thrice, and the vessel was received up again into heaven. Now while Peter doubted in himself what this vision which he had seen should mean, behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made an inquiry for Simon's house, and stood before the gate, and called and asked whether Simon, which was surnamed Peter, was lodged there. While Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, Behold, 3 men seek thee. Right? You know, and you know, didn't the vision happen 3 times? Right. Arise thee and get thee down and go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them. Right. Then Peter went down to the men which were sent unto him from Cornelius, and said, Behold, I am he whom you seek. What is the cause wherefore ye are come? Right. So basically, Peter realized after, you know, it was to go to the Cornelius, who was an Israelite scattered among the Italian band in the Roman army. Right? He was an Israelite. Okay? That's what they were speaking about. Okay? And that's the proper understanding. Because at the end of the day, the Lord wouldn't tell you to go and you know, take part with something that's unclean. Alright? Or eat anything unclean. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16, it reads, Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? Right? If any man defile the temple of the Most High, right, by eating these unclean things, right, him shall the Most High destroy, For the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are. And even for even though things might not so-called be, unclean, like the drink the guy was drinking in the video, all right, it's not prudent. It's not prudent and not wise for you to be drinking that stuff. It damages your temple anyways, which is defiling your temple, clogging up your arteries, causing it to get diseases, things like diabetes, etc. All right, the scripture saying that everything is lawful, but not everything is expedient. All right, so that and all, doesn't make any sense. Okay, it says, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise. Because this will tell you that those things are good to consume. Or people be eating pork like that. Swine, call it, They love the swine. All right? That's really what's going on. And the Lord never said to break the laws. The Lord Yahweh Shai said he came to fulfill it. This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17. It reads, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, which is not only just the 10 commandments, we're talking about the 613 laws, right, including the Levitical dietary code, right, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do, so it says to do it, so we have to perform it, and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven, right? And that's what it is. You have to actually do it. Can't be like a wicked scribe and Pharisee, who's a hypocrite. Okay, let me quickly get a couple precepts and I'll close this out. Let's go into the dietary code, Deuteronomy chapter 14. So the Lord tells us how to eat, right? And verse 1 it says, ye are the children of the Most High, your power. You shall not cut yourselves, nor make any boldness between your eyes for the dead. For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power. But holy means separate. And Yahweh hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all nations that are upon the earth. So when you saw the Moabites doing, they're on a low level. And Jakes will be doing it too, on a low level. Right? You shall not eat any abominable thing. These are the beasts which ye shall eat, the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the hart, and the roebuck, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the pygarg, and the wild ox, and the chamois, and every beast that parted the hoof, and cleaveth the hoof into two claws, and cheweth the cud among beasts, that shall ye eat. Right. Now, the dog doesn't have hoofs. The dog has paws. All right. So that's what you're not supposed to eat. Okay. Let me see if I could go down here. You can read this through when you get a chance. It's very important. It's important to read. Let me see. Salakia, let's bear with my moment here. This is Deuteronomy 14 chapter. Yeah, pretty much. I wouldn't go more into that. Let's get the other precept. Leviticus chapter 11, and I'll read from verse 1. It says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parted the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts that ye shall eat. Right. And it goes down to talk about the different animals that you're not supposed to eat. One of the main ones is the swine. Right, the swine. You're not even supposed to touch the dead carcass of a pig. Because, when we read it, verse 7, it says, and the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch, they are unclean to you. Now let me jump down to verse 27. It says, and whatsoever goeth upon his paws, does not dog go upon his paws? That's right. It says, among all manner of beasts that go on all four, those are unclean unto you. Whoso toucheth their carcass shall be unclean until evening. Right? And he that beareth the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. They are unclean unto you. Even a vessel if fall into, you're supposed to break it. Right? This is the same reason why, which I don't like to show you, in those movies with Noah, the Lord made him put 7 of the clean animals into the ark and only 2 of the unclean. Why? If Noah was eating of the unclean animals, then animals would have gotten extinct. But no, Noah was only eating of the clean animals because there were 7 of them. There were more. All right, let's get that quickly. Genesis chapter 7 and verse 2, it says, of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by 7s, right? See that? The male and his female, and of the beasts that are not clean by 2, the male and his female. See that? See that? That's something that I don't show you, but that's just plain again to show you that, the clean beasts were the ones to be eaten. Alright? So Noah had the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? That's just the facts. Now let me just close it off with two more precepts. Lord willing, this edifying. This is Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 22. It reads, neither shall, in fact, Salakia, let me see. Ezekiel 44 and 23. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and the profane. And that's what they're not doing. That's what these priests and pastors not doing, and they're going to be punished as a result. Right? People, they're leaving our people destroyed. They're not making up the hedge for our people to stand in the day of the Lord. Alright? Ezekiel 44 and 23. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and the profane. Right? Outside the temple, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. Right? Cause them to know the difference. Okay? They're not doing that. Alright? You see that? It says, and in controversy they shall stand in judgment, right? And they shall judge it according to my judgment, which is what we're doing, right? According to the scriptures, the laws, statutes, and commandments. And they shall keep my laws and my statutes in all mine assemblies, and they shall hallow my Sabbath. So if the Lord's word is important, you have to keep it. Now let's get 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. It reads, wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate among these heathens. Arise ye and depart, for this is not our rest. So we rise and depart, not physically to go to Africa, right? Not to Israel right now, but we are rising and depart spiritually through the word, through following Yahweh Shai, first and foremost. Believing in Yahweh Shai for salvation, and then trying your best to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. It says, wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. So we receive the elect. The elect is going to do that. The elect is going to come out from among them spiritually, be separate, and touch not the unclean thing. And when they go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, it tells you that Esau hates that. Alright, that's why he hates the men of the Lord. Because we're pushing this word and we're telling you how to get it right with your power. Alright? It says, verse 18, and I will be a father, and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty. So that's what we want to do. Because a serious judgment is coming, and you don't want to get caught in that. It wouldn't be nice. The Lord is the King of terrors. This is Isaiah 66 and verse 15. It reads, for behold, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, right? Those laser beams. You got a sneak peek at those laser beams from Esau Edom, which is the Lord's sword on the left hand side. Alright? The chariots have more powerful laser beams than that. It says, with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Lord is going to have a new death high score. Right? Verse 17 reads, they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, right? Eating the dog too, right? And unknown to them, Jake eating dog, all right? And the abomination, but they eating worse things, even the same bad things as the dog, the swine, the same thing, right? as we said earlier, and the abomination and the mouse, right? They eat something called possum, manikou in Trinidad and Tobago, a rat, right? Shall be consumed together, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? This is what's going to happen. So you better repent and stop your unclean eating habits, right? So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000. Till next time, Abad Babal and Shalom.